You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Friday, happy Venus Day, and welcome to the weekend. We made it. And that feels like an accomplishment in more ways than one, because if you watched yesterday, my show open was being weird. Today, my camera wasn't registering. So we're here, we made it, and we're ready to chat about the weekend. If you're joining me live, get comfortable. We're going to talk through the energy of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And if you're finding this video later, I will add markers to the timeline so you can jump to whichever day or whichever transit you are looking for guidance on. I'd love to know, though, if you're here with me live, how is the energy feeling for you today? The moon has moved into Taurus as of this morning, and we have a couple transits to talk about this weekend. Nothing super major, but I know some of you have already been chatting in the comments. Diane is here, Corby is here, and I mentioned technology is testing me. Diane says it's testing her too. And I'm wondering why that is. I know we still have Mercury still coming away from a square to Uranus, so that could be at Mercury trine Mars. We've had a lot of Mercury transits this week. So actually, I'm just going to bring up the chart and let's debunk this together. So we've got, of course, the chart is from, is it from yesterday? Is it from today? Where are we at? Okay, yeah, that was from this morning. So let's see. Well, right now, things look a little tense at the moment, but that's mostly because of other placements, not planets. Anyway, I digress. We have Mercury at 19 degrees, Uranus at 15 degrees. So still loosely in this square, still loosely feeling this trine also to Mars. I think it might just be Mercury in Aquarius giving us some tech issues. I don't know. Yeah, super glitchy energy. I don't know what's going on, but everything's working now. So thank you, universe. We are here. Yeah, happy Venus Day. Everybody go check out Diane's new post. Support her. Yeah, her husband's in IT. Send him on over. Yes. Okay, perfect. Before we dive into the forecast, happy birthday to Alex, a beautiful Pisces soul up there in Canada, in Vancouver. She's a Pisces sun and Leo moon. And let's see who she shares her birthday with. Of course, no one holds a candle to Alex, but she's clearly a visionary because Steve Jobs has the same birthday as her. Floyd Mayweather also, he's a little out there, but very successful. Kristen Davis, Charlotte from Sex and the City, Billy Zane is a Pisces. Priscilla Chan, Phil Knight. I mean, Alex and Steve Jobs. Visionary energy, if you ask me. Yeah, and just for fun, since we're going through the whole weekend, what Pisces are celebrating this weekend? George Harrison, a Pisces from February 25th. I totally see that for him. Yeah, Sean Astin, I think he's in The Goonies and a bunch of 80s movies and Stranger Things. Rashida Jones is a Pisces. Téa Leoni. And on Sunday, who's celebrating their birthday? Johnny Cash was a Pisces. I did not know this. I love Johnny Cash. And, you know, there's a natural musical ability, I think, with all water signs, but especially with Pisces and Scorpio, because they're very intuitive, very energetic. And now that we know Johnny Cash is a Pisces, it just makes sense. Victor Hugo as well. Pepe. I don't know who that is. I think maybe a soccer player. I just wanted to say his name. Michael Bolton, speaking of musicians, natural musical ability. He is a Pisces too. So if you know anyone else celebrating, give them a shout out so we can send some love their way. Sending lots of love to Elena. Corby says, chill vibes today. We can thank the Taurus moon for that. The Schumann resonance is really active too. I've been wanting to do like a full episode on the Schumann resonance because I've only dabbled in it, but it's really interesting to track the solar flares and the energy hitting the earth. Very aligned with astrology, right? I even debated maybe including like a reading of the Schumann resonance in the daily forecast. I'm not equipped to share that just yet, but maybe someday. Katie says, definitely restless today, still stuck at home. Maybe Saturn moving into Pisces. Yeah, moving out of Aquarius. That could be the case. Definitely. Dreams interrupted my sleep last night. That would probably be the moon squaring Pluto at 29 degrees for you, right? 1:11 in the Midwest. It just hit 11:11 here in the Pacific time zone. Of course. Go drop your handle so people can follow you, Diane. Okay. Nice little chat to start our weekend. Energy is feeling exciting, ready to charge forward and let certain things drop away. That's kind of the vibe the moon is bringing. Taurus moon, it's like grounded steps forward, and we're coming into the first quarter moon this weekend. So let's get into the forecast. The sun is in Pisces, the moon is now in Taurus. When we have one planet in a water sign like the sun and another planet in an earth sign like the moon, they have this nice supportive energy with each other. So we are benefiting from this nice relationship between the sun and the moon. But today, the most potent transit we're experiencing on Friday is a trine between Venus and Lilith. So we'll pull up the chart here and you can see Venus at 5 degrees, Lilith also at 5 degrees. This is the current moment. And the point of fortune is very close by too. I love when that happens during our forecast when we're talking about something and the point of fortune pops out at us. Just signifies a fortunate transit or some good vibes on our side, right? And actually Jupiter is trining the point of fortune right now as we speak. So Venus and Lilith, let's chat about this. I love that Venus is making herself known on Venus Day. And this is a fire trine, so we're definitely experiencing fiery, bold expressions of love, money, and beauty, because remember, Venus is the planet of love, money, and beauty. So with Lilith on the other side of this trine, there is this power here that we can easily tap into, making the energy ripe for like bold declarations of affection and powerful displays of femininity. Venus, Lilith both tie us into feminine energy. Remember, we all have masculine and feminine energy within us, regardless of your gender identity. And so there's kind of this raw, primal feminine that we're working with today, tapping into that sense of pleasure and passion and power is going to be especially alluring. We might all find ourselves a little more attracted to like a powerful woman, an unruly woman today, a woman in control, a woman on top in every sense of the expression, right? So sexual pleasure will probably seem a little more indulgent with Venus and Lilith here, because Lilith is definitely associated with our sexual power, our sexual pleasure, our need and our desire to feel good. And I will also say Lilith, if you haven't gotten familiar with Lilith yet, we're talking about Black Moon Lilith, which is the point on the moon's path farthest from Earth. So it's this shadowy point on the moon's path, and it represents desires that have been repressed, expressions that have been repressed, anything that has been subdued or deemed unworthy of expression. When it does comes up in kind of a hostile or a bitchy way. Lilith is nicknamed our inner bitch. So noticing, are there any desires, sexual or otherwise that have been repressed. Tapping into those things, they might come up in a very powerful way today, but we have this fortunate angle between the two, which creates some flow. And so I feel like just allowing yourself to feel pleasure, allowing yourself to feel desire, and making those desires known. Now, with Lilith involved, I always like to give the caveat, there is a fine line between being powerful and being overpowering, between being kind of the boss energy, especially with the moon in Taurus. We kind of feel like, oh, I want to be in charge. I want to be the boss, or being kind of stubborn and controlling, right? So I don't want to tell you to hold yourself back, because Lilith does not want to be held back, but also just be mindful about how you're communicating those powerful emotions and those powerful desires that might be coming through today. I will be screaming all day, everyone. Yeah, that's Lilith. Like, ah! Like I just picture Lilith like very Kali energy, which is a goddess. I think she's a Hindu goddess, Kali, and she's like often pictured with like her arms out and her tongue out and maybe holding the head of a man. That's kind of the vibe today. So I'm not going to tell you to tone it down, but just be mindful about how that's coming through. Yeah. Ooh, it took some time to do some self-glam, painted my nails bold red. Yes, this is perfect for the fiery energy of Venus harmonizing with Lilith. Like self-care, but also being a little bold about it. Like, yeah, I want to be seen, especially with Lilith and Leo. Like, let that raw feminine energy be seen. Put it on display. And with Venus and Aries, too, there's this very external, fiery, passionate energy that we're working with. Yeah, so perfect. Paint your nails. Give yourself a little love, put on an outfit that's a little extra, and notice when you're in that energy, how much you're magnetizing people to you. Like, go out and turn heads today. That's what this vibe is all about. Self-glam. Yeah, because oftentimes when we're talking about glam, it's like for an event or to be seen by other people. But I love bringing that back to like, doing it for you, and you'll notice also when you're in that, I think when you're in that energy of like, I'm looking good for me, other people are like, ooh, what is she doing? Okay, all right, I want what she has. Yeah. It's tense for me, Rachel says. I feel like all these pieces are broken in front of me, but I'm deciding not to control and fix those pieces. Ooh, yeah. That's okay. And remember, the moon is still in your 8th house, so that's probably bringing some deeper awareness there. But just know that you're supported and you have all the power you need within you, regardless of external circumstances. Ooh, is Lilith on your Jupiter? That's fun. Yeah, Kali is perfect for breaking things down, death and rebirth. Yeah, I feel definitely like a Scorpio energy with Kali, but Lilith and Kali, a little bit different energies, but I will say I love this for us. I love this raw power we can tap into today. Lilith is currently at 5 degrees of Leo. So if you have anything at 5 degrees of Leo or at 5 degrees of a fire sign at all, it's really being activated by this trine between Venus and Lilith today in a fortunate way. Yeah, we're sending you love, Rachel. Yes, it does feel like an empowering day. Empowering is the perfect word for this transit. Great day to do mirror work, to be like, yes, I am sexy. Look at you, you beautiful thing. Talk to yourself with some love in the mirror today. Yeah. Love all these reflections. Okay, let's tap into what's going on with the Taurus moon. Oh, yes, Lilith on top of your Jupiter too. Reclaim that power. Good fortune is waiting for you there. Yes, I'm loving this for both of you, Elena and Court. All right, so the Taurus moon, we have the waxing crescent moon that moved into Taurus just after midnight here in the Pacific time zone. So most of us woke up under a Taurus moon. The moon is exalted in Taurus. The moon loves to be in Taurus. The moon gets nice and cozy in Taurus. So we can get a little comfortable too. And under the waxing crescent moon, we're planning, we're preparing, we're taking steps forward. And it's like this grounded motion forward. just getting like digging our heels in a little bit and starting the journey of moving forward. Maybe you already started that because the moon was in Aries and it was like that get up and go energy. Taurus definitely slows the pace and invites us to tap into our bodies. I love that we've been talking about Venus and Lilith and pleasure because Taurus rules sensuality. So when the moon is in Taurus, we're invited to get a little bit sensual, feel into things, put on comfortable clothes. Like I just wanted to put on a big comfy sweater today. Feel good. The moon in Taurus wants us to feel good. Self-care, coming back to self-care, that's a beautiful practice under the Taurus moon over the next couple days because we are tapped into our physical bodies and we do crave comfort when the moon is in Taurus. And it's easier to find comfort too because the moon loves to be here. Yeah. Ooh. I feel like pauses are my friend today. Katie says, I'm not going to rush into action or speaking today. I have Mars in Taurus, no planets in Aries or Leo. Yeah, feeling that Taurus moon, slowing down, really feeling into everything, taking your time. Wow, I had some deep healing in a dream from an old friend I didn't talk to in a long time. She wants me to go to my fullest, gave me peace. That is beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so what we're feeling currently is a sextile between the sun and the moon is also squaring Lilith. So I kind of love that we're like talking so much about Lilith as the moon is squaring Lilith. Let me jump back an hour here and you'll see what that looks like. So the moon at 5 degrees squaring Lilith at 5 degrees. And then also this sextile to the sun at the same time. So that also means that today the sun is forming a quincunx to Lilith, this awkward angle to Lilith. And I love to bring that up because we are aware that we have this internal fire, this internal passion, this internal power that wants to be shared. But the sun in Pisces is like, we're just kind of flowing. Like, what do we do with this energy? We're much more in receiving mode with the sun in Pisces than giving mode, it feels like. And yeah, you might be feeling that kind of balancing act between like flow and Pisces and the slowdown of the Taurus moon. And then like this internal flame, like Lilith being like, no, we need to have our power be seen. We need to be bold and expressive, so full permission, if that's what's playing out for you, to play in that adjustment of like, where am I feeling into more? Do I need to slow down a little bit more? Or is there this fire within me that wants to be expressed? Right now with the moon squaring Lilith, watch your words, watch your expression. It's really easy to be bitchy in this moment or to be like overly stubborn or overpowering. That will subside in the next couple hours. So just, you're here, you know about it. Be nice. It's really what it comes down to. And we have a lot of confidence right now because the moon and sun are in a sextile with each other. It's like our internal self and our external self are working hand in hand. They're working together well. So with that confidence, show up, paint the nails red, look at yourself in the mirror, tell yourself you're hot and that you love yourself, but also don't be too bitchy or overpowering or stubborn to other people. It is like bossy energy right now. Like we want to be the boss of ourselves. We kind of want to be the boss of other people, but Taurus moon squaring Lilith can make us a little too bossy, if you know what I mean. So be nice. Don't be a bitch. Just find your power and know that you don't have to be sassy or bitchy to display your power. The Taurus moon is a nice reminder that power can be just this nice grounded presence of like, I am in my energy and I own my emotions and I own myself and I'm rooted in my values and I'm not letting anything else fuck with me today. That could be a way to tap into your power. Flowy, slow, and bold. Feeling that energy. Yeah, love it. Love that. Okay, so that's the transit that we're feeling most throughout the day today. And then this afternoon, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time, we have a beautiful conjunction between the Taurus moon and the North Node. So you can see that playing out, or the moon coming into that conjunction now. Very close. I love this for us because when the moon meets up with the North Node, it happens once a month. It's like this full permission. I should have shut the door. It's like a wake-up call. This is your purpose, as my dog is barking. So the moon conjunct the North Node, it's like aligning our emotions with our highest calling. There are fated moments that are possible today. And again, with the moon and the North Node both in Taurus, this could feel very grounded and slow, but it's like the path ahead is becoming more and more clear with each grounded, slow, confident step that we take. We're emotionally aligning with our destiny. And we can be aware of like, oh, is something shifting? Is something changing? Okay, this is a fated change. This is a fated moment that we can align with. Now, the moon is also opposing the South Node. So it's very clear. We can clearly see what we're leaving behind, what we're releasing, what we're letting go at the same time. So it does play into that polarity between like slow, grounded, moving forward, and then also this inner awareness of what's been repressed, what we're letting go of, what we're ready to express, what we're ready to let out. Does feel like that push-pull energy a little bit today. But it's Venus Day, and the message for Friday is like, let it feel good. Let yourself feel pleasure. Let yourself be in your power, and you deserve to feel good. We all deserve to feel good, right? So how can you feel good? How can you be in your power? And then if you're in that place, how can you share that with other people rather than being like, I know what I want and I know what I need and I want to feel pleasure, right? Like, how can you bring other people into that sensual, beautiful experience? Ooh, Diane says, I can definitely feel the confidence today. Thank you, Lilith. I am seeing my steps moving forward, and I've been taking them one by one today, working toward my goal. Beautiful for the Taurus moon. All right, let's move into our Saturday forecast, because Saturday is going to help illuminate that path forward as we were just talking about. On Saturday, the sun forms a sextile to the North Node. So today, this afternoon, the moon meets up with the North Node, and then tomorrow, the sun connects with the North Node as well. This, to me, is just great because it's helping us vision and become consciously aware of our direction, of our purpose, of our path forward. And that's going to help us leading into the first quarter moon on Sunday. So I just realized these charts don't necessarily show connections to the North and South Node, but you can see the sun at 6 degrees. It'll be a little later in the day, actually. Let's see. This is exact Saturday night around 7 p.m. So we'll just jump ahead here, and you'll see the sun at 7 degrees, connecting with the North Node at 7 degrees as well. And it's really cool because Venus is situated right between them. So Venus is forming semi-sextiles to both the North Node and the sun. This, to me, says get rooted in your desires, really tap into your values, and that's going to help you align with the purpose, understand the path ahead. Venus rules our values. So with the moon in Taurus, the sign of values, with Venus playing a big role in the forecast this weekend, it's like, what's important to you? What do you really want? And when you're tapped into that, especially today, Lilith could bring up some stuff like, oh, I didn't realize I really wanted that. I kind of suppressed that or pushed that down, right? That could come up today. So really observing, what do I want? What feels aligned for me? What do I value? That's going to help us see the path forward more clearly, because we know with the sun shining light on the North Node, we know, okay, if this is important to me, this is a step I can take to support that value, that vision for myself. So remember, when the sun connects with the North Node, it also connects with the South Node in a trine. And yes, we can see, okay, this is the direction we're going. Our expression is supporting the direction we're going, but also we're at the same time seeing the tools we already have and the parts of our story that we want to leave behind, with the moon harmonizing with the South Node. I see this harmony more as, rather than like a release, since we're coming into the first quarter moon, like, hey, look at what wisdom you already have. Look at what inherent wisdom you have. The South Node can be what you've already mastered coming into this lifetime. So like, look at the tools you've had all along to help make your dreams reality, to help move you forward, to help you move towards your purpose. The South Node and the North Node work together in a very unique way where they're on polar opposites, but I almost see it as like a spectrum where as we move more towards the north node, the south node, we're pulling away from the south node, but both energies are still there, if that makes sense. Almost like I'm seeing like a thermometer filling up, you know? So both of them are still there. It's just what the energy we're leaning into more and more of throughout this life is represented by the north node. So the south node is there on Saturday to be like, you got this. Look at all the tools you already have. Look at the lifetimes you've already lived learning these lessons, and take that inherent wisdom to help you move forward with confidence towards your purpose, towards the direction that you are wanting to go. Katie says, I had some big insights lately about some business ideas and my service to the world. Nothing I need to act on immediately, but some seeds planted for sure. That's a beautiful place to be. You're like, oh, this is important to me. I think this is what I want to do. And I love this when we're talking about the sun connecting with the north node in this sextile, because it doesn't feel like, especially with the north node in Taurus, the sun in Pisces, it's definitely more of that slow, flowy energy. It doesn't feel like, okay, we're doing this now. It just feels like this conscious awareness with the sun here of, this is what I want. This is the path ahead. This is how I'm going to move forward. And also it feels like permission to release the timeline and just let it flow with the sun in Pisces. Yeah, Katie says, feeling that north node activation and contemplation for sure lately. My north node is in Pisces at 5 degrees. So the sun is on your north node today. Beautiful. Totally plays into everything you're sharing. And Corby will have the sun moving over her north node in Pisces this weekend as well. Now that you're saying this, I think the sun is moving over my partner's north node too. I love this. I love this for you all with your north nodes in Pisces, really helping you vision more clearly than even the rest of us are your path forward. And visioning feels like the energy we're working with. The sun on the north node, like seeing that vision of what you want to create and where you're going, where you're heading. Ooh, yes. Corby says it's definitely a day where we are aware of our purpose and how we want things to go forward. That's Saturday for sure. And maybe you're even feeling that today or in the days leading up to or following this connection between the sun and the north node. The north node is conjunct your sun. So you're having like the opposite transit, the north node transiting over your Taurus sun in your 5th house. Great energy for creation for you too, Elena. Look at all these synchronicities between us experiencing these north node activations. Okay, love this for all of you out there. I'm not personally feeling this, but I can feel that. Like, what are we creating? Yes, 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 yes. This makes me excited. Okay, the moon stays in Taurus on Saturday, all day Saturday. And here is what the moon is up to. So remember, we're taking grounded steps forward. It feels like preparing, planning, really getting rooted and comfortable in our skin so we can take that action, spark those conversations under the first quarter moon on Sunday. 4 a.m. Pacific time, so 7 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday, the moon comes into a conjunction with Uranus. So insights, changes are possible on Saturday morning, especially as we're talking about the North Node and the Sun in Pisces and our ability to vision and dream. Stay open to insights, stay open to changes of plan on Saturday, because with the Sun connecting with the North Node, those shifts, those changes might be leading you in a whole new direction that you didn't even know was possible. So again, stay open. You never know what the universe has in store for you, right? So we're a little ahead of ourselves on the chart here, but you can see the moon will cross over Uranus and Taurus overnight. If you're still sleeping during this transit, you might have some really insightful dreams, maybe some very clear visions coming through in dreams. Pay attention. The shifts could come in from your subconscious rather than from your physical surroundings. Although with the moon conjunct the North Node in Taurus, I could see weather changes. I could see just changes of plan in general. It could feel like, you know, your foundation is getting rocked, or your physical surroundings are getting shifted or rocked a little bit. So again, just stay open, stay open. That's always the advice I give with Uranus. Like, let the changes happen rather than fighting them. There is this tendency with the Taurus moon, you know, in this very stubborn sign to be like, no, this was my plan. This is what I wanted to happen. So if that's coming up for you, Stay open to Uranus. Okay, Uranus, what changes are you bringing me? What insights are you bringing me? What can I gain from this? Ooh, Nikki says, I am an artist starting to sell my art. I'm getting more opportunities. Today's a day. Maybe some faded opportunities coming in today or maybe this weekend. Love that. No more snow here. I'm done. Yeah, we've had some very interesting weather here on the West Coast too. And so I'm wondering if we're going to have like a shift in the weather pattern because of the moon conjunct Uranus and Taurus tomorrow. Or it could be, you know, spring, all of a sudden springs on Saturday for you with the moon conjunct the North Node. It could, or excuse me, the moon conjunct Taurus. It could, the moon conjunct Uranus in Taurus. I'm getting ahead of myself. It could be a positive change. Remember, it's not always like a full-blown breakdown. It could just be a nice little physical shift that you experience. So that's the energy we wake up under on Saturday. Then the moon gets quiet most of the day until the evening. So 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, the moon will square Mercury. Let me jump ahead on the chart here. Maybe we're already seeing it. The moon at 22 degrees. Yeah, Mercury at 21 degrees. So you can see that square. Remember, a square is tension. So the moon represents our internal emotions, our internal experience. Mercury is our mind. It's our ability to communicate. There is this conflict or this tension between our heart and our mind on Saturday evening. So with Mercury in Aquarius, we might want to keep a really open mind and have all these visions and expansive ideas. But the moon in Taurus is a little bit more protective. It's a little bit more like, oh, I kind of want to stay in my comfort zone. So you might be feeling that, like your body's like, no, we need to stay in what we already know. But your mind is like, let's try all these new things and talk to all these new people. That conflict might come up for you on Saturday evening. Maybe you're even out and about and you have plans on Saturday night and your body's like, I'm tired. I want to be at home on the couch and be cozy in my special like sweats and blanket. But your mind is like, no, I know we're supposed to be expanding and talking to new people and being in community. So wherever you're at on Saturday, if you're feeling that tension come up, just try to find safety in your body. If you have to be out, or even if you want to be out and your body's like, this is not what I want right now, or like, I just want my comfort zone. Maybe just doing a little somatic exercise, doing some breath work, even if you're in public, just coming back to your breath, coming back to your body, tapping on your vagus nerve, you know, that can be helpful just for regulating your nervous system. So finding safety in your body if your mind and your heart are on two different pages can be really helpful. And then maybe even catering your expectations. Like, okay, I'm going to go out. I'm going to chat with people. I'm going to connect with community. I'm going to be here for an hour. And if it doesn't feel good after an hour, then I will go home and curl up on the couch again. So maybe finding compromise between your heart and your mind as well. Come on, spring. Yeah, I could definitely feel that. May have to move out of my apartment soon, feeling really nervous about it. Yeah, but maybe there's something really amazing waiting for you, and the universe is kind of pushing you into a new environment to spark all these new opportunities for you, if that's what's happening. Trusting in the changes, trusting in the plan. There's a flower already blooming here in Maryland. So weird for it being February. I saw this meme that was like, winter, spring, just kidding. That was a false spring. It's winter again. And then spring comes. So that could happen for us too, you know. Never rush it. Mother Nature is perfectly timed, right? Okay, so we might be feeling a little bit of that tension. And then Saturday night, 9 p.m. Pacific time, midnight Eastern time, the moon connects with Neptune in a nice sextile. This is just setting the stage for nice dreams, for compassion, for empathy, maybe a little bit of sensitivity. You might notice as the night goes on Saturday that you're just feeling a little more sensitive and like you just want to be in your own space. So you can see that sextile playing out there. But remember, the moon in Taurus wants us to be comfortable, wants us to be in our body. Neptune in Pisces is much more dreamy and fantastical. So coming back to finding safety in your body, if you're really rooted and safe in your body, it creates this safety for your mind to explore and imagine. It creates the ability, if you're safe in yourself, to hold space for other people and be more compassionate and be more empathetic. So put yourself first. find safety in yourself, and you might notice that your mind has more capacity to wander and explore, and even like finding safety in your body, creating a nice space to sleep in if you're trying to have vivid dreams and working with Neptune on Saturday night. Like that can be creating safety for yourself too, making your bed extra cozy under the Taurus moon, maybe putting a crystal under your pillow, setting your intention into the crystal, asking to remember your dreams. And you might be surprised by what kinds of dreams you have on Saturday night with the moon connecting with Neptune. Oh, spring has fully sprung where Corby is. Love that. It's always a weird feeling going out after being home for a long time. Like, thank goddess I'm out of the house, but this is also overstimulating. Very much playing into that duality we've been talking about of like our body and the Pisces energy wanting us to slow down and flow. But there's also this agitation with Lilith and with the moon coming into its action phase, and with Mercury in Aquarius, you know, kind of opening our mind, opening our perception. So go slow and give yourself grace wherever you're at. I got your dream quartz by your bed. Perfect for setting intentions into if you are hoping to have some messages come through your dreams. So that's Saturday. Now let's move into Sunday. On Sunday, actually, we're going to stick with the moon in Taurus for just a moment because the moon doesn't move into Gemini until, let's see, it'll actually be right before 8 a.m. But before that, the waxing crescent moon in Taurus is going to connect with Pluto at the 29th degree. So let me pull that up on the chart here. And you can see we have the Taurus moon. In fact, let's just jump ahead a few more hours so you can actually see this. Notice we haven't had a void moon in quite a while because we have planets at 29 degrees that are constantly interacting with the moon until the very end of their transit, or her transit, the moon's transit through a sign. So you can see the moon coming into this trine with Pluto in Capricorn. This feels like transformation just unfolding really naturally, deep insights coming up really easily. And this trine is happening at 6 a.m. Pacific time, 9 a.m. Eastern time on Sunday morning. So maybe you're waking up feeling like this transformation or these deep emotions surfacing and allowing you to alchemize, allowing you to transform. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of release even with the moon harmonizing with Pluto, or a rebirth energy, because remember, Pluto is death and rebirth. So it's like this alchemy, this rebirth, this renewal energy that we're really feeling into. And this is a fortunate, nice flowing angle. So one of the best angles we can experience when it comes to a Pluto transit. This really plays into paying attention to any deep insights that are coming up in your dreams. Finding safety in your body can help us alchemize and transform more easily, and just stay open to the transformation that is naturally happening for us. Intuition definitely heightened as well. Saturday night into Sunday morning with the moon harmonizing with Pluto. Pluto is that like deep inner knowing. So pay attention to any intuitive hits, or it could even just be this deeper understanding of the changes that are happening for you now, especially as we've been talking so much about the North Node and Uranus and shifts and changes and moving forward. It feels like the moon connecting with Pluto on Sunday morning is like that, okay, it's happening. We are moving forward. We are alchemizing. We are transforming. We are changing. And then the moon moves into Gemini at 7:48 a.m. Pacific time, so just before 11 a.m. Eastern time. And we're coming into the first quarter moon. So Gemini energy is social, it's chatty, it's mentally activating. When the moon is in Gemini, we can process our emotions through our words, through talking to people, through journaling. So keeping that journal handy on Sunday morning would be nice, because maybe as you're coming out of that harmony between the moon and Pluto and having some profound realizations or aha moments, or just becoming consciously aware and emotionally aware of the transformation, as the moon moves into Gemini, writing that down, speaking it to somebody else. So this is what's happening, might help you actually process what's going on internally a little more easily. And with this being the first quarter moon in Gemini, I feel like the action that we can take, remember the first quarter moon is the time when we're invited to take action and move forward. The action we can take could be as simple as saying to somebody else, hey, this is what I'm creating. or this is what's coming through for me right now, or sparking up a conversation with someone could get the ball rolling, making a new friend, making a new connection. And it could be like, oh, they're the missing piece that I haven't had to make my dream a reality or to move forward. So we have a lot of fated things happening this weekend and changes, and putting all this internal awareness into words can be really helpful in allowing us to move forward on Sunday and going into the next week. And I love this because the moon is kind of coming out, becoming more active. Gemini, again, is very social. So it's just like allowing us to, it feels kind of like that spring energy you've been talking about, like going out and chatting with people and making those connections, right? Yeah. Oh, Katie, love this for me. Taurus is in my 4th house. I've been working so hard at reparenting myself so I can connect with my kids the way I want to. The last few years especially have been a lot of death of how I was raised and discovering my true self as a person, parent, friend, spouse. Woo! Ready for the rebirth. Beautiful weekend for you. It's a beautiful weekend for you. I think a lot of what you've been working on is going to be solidified and help you like move forward. And as the moon moves into Gemini, it'll move into your 4th house, or excuse me, your 5th house, right? And so taking all this deep work you've been doing and then playing with it and having fun with it and sharing with it and creating from that place could be really beautiful. So the moon in Gemini inviting us all to share what's on our heart, to talk about it, to write about it, and to mentally process our emotions. And then the last connection we'll talk about will be midnight Pacific time. So overnight from Sunday into Monday, the moon will square the sun. That's the official first quarter moon. And it will form a sextile to Venus at the same time. So here we go. Let me bring this up. Okay, so we have the moon at 8 degrees, the sun at 8 degrees. You can see that square between the two, and then also the sextile to Venus at the same time. I love this because it's like we're moving forward. The moon is squaring the sun. There's that tension between we can't keep everything in. We've got to make it external, right? Like that's the first quarter moon. That's that conflict we feel between our internal and our external, kind of pushing us and activating us to move that energy out of us and to move forward. But with Venus in this sextile right now and in the semi-sextile to the sun as well, I love Venus being positioned in the middle of all these transits we've been talking about this weekend, because it's like coming back to our values at the same time, coming back to love at the same time. If we're not passionate about it, it's not worth it. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. That's Venus in Aries. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. So if we're taking action, if we're moving forward, if we're like, okay, I think I know what steps I'm supposed to take, coming back to, am I passionate about this? Is this aligned with my values? Venus is there supporting us, being like, okay, you know what your desires are. You know what your values are. Be bold in the pursuit of those things. Venus in Aries, be bold in the pursuit of what you really want, and be bold in knowing what you deserve to receive as well, because Venus is a very receptive energy. So when we're tapped into what we're calling in, what we value, it's easier to take action that aligns with those values. Hopefully that makes sense. But coming back to love, as well, in every step you take in the conversations that you're having, it'll feel easy to tap into that love with Venus playing into this first quarter moon energy. Ooh, tomorrow I go to the reopening party for the Reiki space I'm renting. Perfect, with the sun in Pisces, connecting with the North Node. That's been a vision you've been having for quite some time, and I think it's such divine timing that this is happening for you right now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Maybe you'll make some fated connections as well. Love that for you. Yeah. So it's a beautiful weekend. There's a lot of power. There's a lot of reflection that can be had this weekend, and great potential to get to know ourselves better as we prepare to move forward, and not even get to know ourselves better, but to get to know what we really want before we're like full force going for it. So take those moments this weekend to just check in with, what do I really want? What is really important to me? And are the actions I'm taking, are the emotions I'm feeling aligned with my desires and my values. And that brings us back to the affirmation of the day today, which is, I am a powerful presence. Of course, inspired by Lilith and Venus, remembering that we have so much power within us. Like, you are a powerful presence. Your presence in a room shifts the entire energy of the room. Don't forget how powerful you are. And that goes for how we express ourselves too. You know, there's power in being confident and in being bold, but there's also power in being overpowering. And we can definitely shift the energy of a room by being bitchy or being too bold or being too fiery, you know? So finding that balance, but tapping into that grounded, innate power that each of us has within us. Lilith is there to remind us of that, and the Taurus moon is backing us up. The Taurus moon has got our back. So you are all so powerful. I see the power in you, and I hope that you find the confidence this weekend to share that power with other people. And when you do, remember, we've been talking so much about the North Node. Fated opportunities are possible when you show up in your power. And with Venus taking center stage on this Venus day, I want to pull from the Rose Oracle, my go-to Venus deck. As you know, as we've talked about Venus, as she makes her lap around the sun, creates the shape of a rose. So the Rose Oracle feels very on point with the Venus energy of the day today. As I shuffle, this is your opportunity to ask any final questions, share any final reflections, let me know how you plan to work with the energy this weekend. If there's anything you're going to do that's going to help you reclaim your power and tap into that Lilith energy, I'd love to hear it. Got a dog joining us back here. Just her butt in the frame. She's like, this is how I'm working with Lilith. I'm pretty sure she has her moon conjunct Lilith too. The dog, of course, is who I'm talking about, because you know I've looked at my dog's birth charts. Okay, let's take a nice deep breath, connecting with our power as we breathe all the way in, down into our sacral, down into our root chakra. And then as we exhale, releasing and sharing that power with the world, sending our power into the deck, asking the universe, the goddess, what do we need to know? Here we go. Breathing in. And release. What do we need to know? All right. Beautiful card. I have never pulled this card. Oh my goodness. I might close the door. Hold on. All right. I think their best friend just got here, so I've got to do the card pull. The card that came through is the grandmothers. Remember your roots, perspective, trust the weavings. The grandmothers. I love this card. I'm so excited to get to know this card because I didn't even know it was in the deck. So beautiful. And it has all of these grandmothers around like the Milky Way or the solar system on it. Gorgeous. Feels already very tapped into the Taurus moon and the Lilith energy. So let's see. Remember your roots, perspective, trust the weavings. The rose was here long before you and me, and long before humanity itself. She holds within her the rememberings of civilizations past, roots that reach back for millions of years and hold the codes of creation. They carry with them the songs of the ancient grandmothers of the earth. Can you hear their song? When this card appears in a spread, it's an invitation to reach all the way back, to go forward, to reach your roots deep, to soar high. The ancient grandmothers are calling for you to remember the wisdom of your ancestry long before colonialism severed so much that's sacred, before the rise and fall of empires and the entire civilizations, all the way back to the origins of humanity. They're calling you to play your part in this time of healing, to heal and integrate what you've inherited in your ancestral line. It's not personal. These are changing, healing times that we came here for, to reconnect and reach all the way back to the original mother, and to see our role as the ancestors of those who are yet to come. To remain grounded and rooted in your life so that no matter how rocky things get, you always know that you are home. I reach my roots all the way back to go forward. I call upon the sacred strength and support of my ancestors who did not forget to be with me now. I acknowledge the difficulties and what's coming up to be healed, and I do so for all who are yet to come. Whew, I just got full chills. This is so potent and such a perfect way to wrap up everything that we've talked about today. Finding safety in our body under the Taurus moon, knowing that we are of the earth. Taurus rules the earth, and our bodies are part of the earth. We are nature. So finding safety, giving thanks for our body, and knowing that our bodies wouldn't be healthy, wouldn't be here without our ancestors. And I love how this card came up also as we've talked about the North and South nodes today, because something that came through just as we were chatting was that the South node isn't always just stuff we got to like release, or it's not all bad. You know, sometimes it's that inherent wisdom that we came here for, or with, I should say. And this card reminds us that we carry the wisdom of all of the ancestors before us in our bodies, in our hearts, right? So honoring that wisdom, honoring what we came here with, and the message that came through multiple times. What did it say? Hold on, I've got to find the exact line. Of course, now I can't find it. Hold on. Yes, okay. To reach all the way back, reaching into the South node, to go forward, to move forward into the North node, right? To reach your roots deep, to soar high, playing into that polarity, right, between the past and the future, honoring all that's come before, all that you've created so far, your journey thus far, in order to find confidence and be rooted in those values so you can continue to walk the path forward of highest alignment. And the grandmothers are here to support you. Remember your roots. Trust the weavings. I finally asked my grandma her grandma's name, who I feel connected to. We had a really great chat about who she was. She was a midwife in Russia. Incredible. And then this card came through. Yeah. Love the card. Been thinking so much about ancestors past, those who I knew and those I didn't, and how they may have faced hardship and survived, and how calling on them at times of need could be so reassuring. Yeah, have you ever seen one of those graphics or infographics about like how many grandmothers and grandfathers had to exist for you to even be here? Like when you look at the family tree, you're here, and there are like hundreds of people who had their own unique journeys and challenges and celebrations in order for you to come into the world. So honoring them. The Taurus moon is a beautiful time to honor our ancestors, honor our roots, as this card reminded us. Oh, good. There's so much wisdom and ancestry in the stars and planets. And I think this card was definitely a message for you, Katie, that your grandmother's grandmother is watching over you and sending you a little sign that she feels connected to you too. Yeah. Amazing. Yes. Beautiful. And I have my grandmas on my altar behind me, so just want to take a moment and honor them and their sacrifices and the beauty that they have brought into my life, and my great-grandmother's continued presence reminding me that everything is going to be okay and that I'm held. So if you're feeling a little lost, sometimes that can help us find safety in our body and in our experience too, connecting with our ancestors and knowing if they are watching down on us now, they're so freaking proud of us. And sometimes I even picture like a big hug from my ancestors if I'm feeling a little unsafe, like they've got me. It's all good. It's all good. It's safe to feel how we feel. And you're magnificent. And your ancestors absolutely are looking down like, holy crap, can you believe that I was part of creating this glorious human being? How amazing. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this weekend episode of Transits today. I hope you have a beautiful, pleasurable Venus day ahead of you. I hope you can stay grounded and find safety in your body so you can expand your mind and align with the path ahead this weekend. I'm sending so much love to you all. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you who continue to show up, offer your perspectives, share support with each other. You are all so amazing. And I know all of our ancestors are just watching down on all of us right now, and so excited that we found each other in this community. I love you all. I hope you have a beautiful weekend ahead of you, and I will see you on Monday morning. But until I see you next, Stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.